Would you like to create a whole week of social media content in less than 3 hours? That's right, that is exactly what I have done for my Instagram account recently, and I want to share the same process with you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jelena Ostrovska from jelenaostrovska.com, and I create organic social media content that converts for coaches, consultants, and service providers. So super excited to see you here. Let's dive right into the strategy. So one thing that a lot of people come up to me and they say that, Jelena, I spend so much time on social media content, I spend so much time on ideas, on scheduling, writing captions. I mean, there's a lot that actually goes into doing that. So I do want to give you a short plug that may be able to help you if you're at a place in your business where you have clients, you have maybe a course that you have launched, you're working with a lot of people, and you just physically do not have the time or even the energy to pour yourself into content. Then go ahead and apply to work with me as your social media manager. Down below there's a link with an application form that you can fill out, and then we can chat and see if my social media services are a fit for you. So go ahead and apply if you feel like that's the right time. Now let's get back into the video. So first of all, you want to go ahead and pick a tool that you're going to be using to actually plan your content. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Well, I really like to use my paper calendar. Maybe that's like a passion planner. That's currently what I'm using, but I stopped using it for content because it's not very efficient. So what I use with my clients and even for my own content is called Airtable. There are different other tools that you can use. There's Notion, there's Trello, there's ClickUp. Lots of different tools, but specifically for social media content, I use Airtable because I love the way it looks. I like the way, everything shows, and I also love the automations that it has to offer, which I use heavily with my clients to make the whole system flow, like magic. So I will leave a link below for you to check it out. I personally still use a free account, and I highly recommend to use it. So you want to create a template that you're going to use consistently, right? So for me, I'm going to show you how mine looks like. So let's dive into the screen real quick. So this is how my Airtable looks like from the inside. You can actually see several tabs right here. So as you can see, there's like IG post and tweet. It was actually created by my coach, that section right here. And then I have Instagram Reels that are separate, which you can actually put them like into one place right here. So it would show up under one calendar. It's just not something that I have done. Because I kind of like to keep them separately as well. So especially if you are going to go crazy and publish them daily, so you would want to have a separate calendar. I feel like it would make sense. Then there are stories and flits. I do have a bunch of templates that I have gotten, so they're all right here. Instagram lives. I actually don't have a whole lot of things here because I just haven't been going live a whole lot. Then I've got some content templates that I just added here, which they don't necessarily need to be here, but it's just something that I bought. So I was like, let me just put them here so I don't have to go and look for them. Then content inspiration. This is just like from several people that I have been following. And then YouTube, I have this tab, which I haven't touched just because we do have it with my editor inside of ClickUp. So I was like, you know what? I may actually get rid of it here. So it's just social media. Now let me go show you the fun part. So here, as you can see, currently when I'm recording this, we are in October, so that's when I batch my November content. So as you can see, we have like several content that is already going out. So from 25th all the way to 31st, I have content going out. And you can kind of see the whole outlook, right? So which I believe some of these I haven't been scheduling, but then I was like, let me actually get consistent with it. And I have different looks in my Airtable right here, right? So I have all content, I have the content that is not started yet, I have, some templates that I have gotten, I have the things that are currently in progress, so I have some dates for some of them, like this one, I believe it's like a quote, just for engagement, so I have it right here. Then I have the image that I can upload in this section, and let me show you the things that are already ready to schedule. These are some captions that I was working on. a while ago. Now, these are all the things that we have scheduled. As you can see, I have the graphics, and the more I started using it, the more organized I've gotten. I was not organized here at all. So, and a lot of these, I believe I was focusing on Twitter a little bit more. So I had like captions that are longer. So, let me show you this one right here. So you can go ahead and expand the record, and you can kind of see, I believe the caption, I wrote it in Facebook Creator Studio, so I didn't have a whole lot of things. So, and this was one of those like really nice posts that did really well, aesthetically pleasing and everything. And yeah, it was kind of, this is how it looks like. I have all the graphics right here in order. And then I have the content type, I have the Instagram status, I already know that it's published, so I can easily access it like from here. Twitter status, haven't actually started on it, so it does give me like the date when I'm supposed to publish it, which I have totally missed it. But it's mostly, like, I mostly made it for myself for Instagram. And then I have all the hashtags that I have used right here, extra notes, and content links. Right? So this is essentially how it's going to look like. You will want to kind of emulate the same thing as I have done. So yeah, you can go ahead and model after that. Now that you have your calendar figured out inside of Trello, the next thing that you want to figure out is what days you're actually going to be publishing, right? So how many times per week are you going to be publishing, and what kind of content, right? So here are some ideas for you that you can implement. So first of all, you want to decide which type of content that's going to be. Are you promoting something? Are you in the middle of a launch? Because a launch week or a launch month is going to look very different than a regular month where you're just building your audience, you're just building that relationship. A launch is a lot heavier than just the regular, content creation and list building. So it's going to look very different. It's going to be very promotional. It's going to hit on a lot of pain points. It's going to have a lot of call to actions. So for now, let's just focus on the regular calendar that you're going to be using. So you may want to be creating content that's going to get you visible. So maybe a quote post, maybe some sort of carousel that people are going to share. Maybe it's going to be an engagement driven post. Maybe you're going to post a picture of yourself. Maybe you're going to ask a question. Then you may also have a lead generation post where it's, again, promotional, but you're not necessarily selling anything, but you are promoting, let's say, your free newsletter, right? Maybe you're promoting something low ticket, $17. Maybe you have something that you are planning on launching soon, right? So figure out the type and when you're going to be publishing. Let's say maybe on a Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday, you are going to be publishing a carousel post, right? And it can be either promotional, educational, it can be, focused on visibility. Then on Tuesday, you may publish an Instagram reel and a quote, right? Maybe you're going to want to publish more than once a day, because with Instagram reels, it's honestly simple to be publishing multiple times a day because it's just a video, right? It takes 5 seconds to record, and then you edit a little bit. And then if you want to learn more about the Instagram Reels, then I do have a video right here where I share my entire strategy, the how-tos, and basically everything you need to know about Instagram Reels. Now, after you are done with, the frequency of your content, then what I personally do is I jot down all the ideas that I possibly have. So I have like the brain dump inside of my Airtable, and I just put ideas in my main list, I believe it's called, or in the main table. I mean Airtable, so I guess it's called table there. So I put everything into one table, and this is like my running list that I can always go back to. Now, the reason why I also like using Airtable myself for that kind of content is I basically create a database that I can lean on every single time I don't have any content ideas whatsoever. I can pull up any post that is already published and I can repurpose any of them, right? So I don't have to scroll all the way through my Instagram. I just go into the published post, I pull it up, and I see, okay, so I can reuse this idea, I can reuse that, and it just makes the whole process so much more streamlined, and you're going to be a lot more efficient with your content. So, and again, Airtable is something that you do control a little bit more than you control, let's say, social media. If you publish something controversial on Instagram, that post may get flagged, removed, you may lose your account. With Airtable, you're really not going to lose your content at all. So yes, the next step is you go ahead and you create graphics. Now, some people will tell you that they first create captions. For me personally, as I'm creating Instagram content, I generally first create the actual graphic and then I figure out my caption. The reason why I do that, a lot of the times I would go into Airtable, I would type out the whole post, especially if it's just like one of those days when it flows. So I write everything out, I space it out, and then I move that text into a carousel, because on Instagram these days, you really don't have to be creating a very long caption. If you're going to be creating a long caption, you might as well do a freaking carousel, right? So that's why I generally start with the creative of the post. So I create the image, I write all the text, everything that needs to be on a carousel post, and then I throw it into Airtable. And then I go ahead and I write my caption, and it's generally very short, just a couple of sentences for a carousel, depending, how much you want to elaborate on the particular topic. And the next step is you basically dump everything inside of Airtable. And here's kind of how I work. So I basically batch every phase of my content, right? So first I figure out all my ideas. Then I create all the graphics. I don't create any captions yet. I just make all the graphics. I dump them into Airtable or throw them into Airtable. Then after that, I go into Airtable. Under each post, I put the date, which day that post is going to be published, right? So I have clarity as far as, okay, so which date it's actually going to be scheduled, so I don't have to worry about it, right? So the next thing, once I have those dates in, then I create the captions, right? So I go into each post and I just spend at least 30 minutes or as long as it's going to take me to write everything out. Captions are done, right? The next step that I take is I go into Flick, which is the tool that I use for hashtag research. I actually did a video right here about Flick, so you can check it out. And I put together all the groups of hashtags under each post. So again, you see kind of the process. You batch create the graphics, you throw everything into Airtable, then I batch write my captions. So I don't have to be going back and forth, create the graphic, then write the caption, then figure out the hashtags, go into Flick, then go and schedule like everything one by one. No. Like this is not an efficient way at all. So you batch every phase of your content, right? Of your content production, basically. So after you're done with your hashtags and you basically have the creative of the post, you have the date when you're going to be publishing that, you have the caption, and you have the hashtags, right? So those like 4 or 5 components are done. The next step is you go into Creator Studio or any scheduler of your choice. Like it doesn't really matter. I personally prefer Facebook Creator Studio simply because you can schedule carousels in there and also IGTV or IG video as it is called right now. And I don't like any scheduler out there, and I tried them all from Preview to Planoly to even Canva. You cannot schedule carousels. They all say you schedule and then you just get a reminder. That's not very much like auto-publishing, right? They cannot auto-publish their carousel. And I mean, if you manage clients and you have everything else going on, I prefer scheduling and then forgetting about it, right? And then I go and spend my time on Instagram engaging and doing all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, then you go into Creator Studio and you have your Airtable opened up and then you have your Creator Studio pulled up and you basically just copy and paste your captions, your hashtags, your dates, and the whole scheduling process really took me about 15 minutes total, right? So the graphics is probably the longest. The captions takes a little bit of time. Hashtags, probably for all 7 posts that I have scheduled for the entire week, took me about 10 minutes, maybe 7. So, and that's really all there is to that whole process. Now, let me also say that this entire process that I have used has been used for my Instagram account. You can do the same thing for any other social media, right? So you can do that for your Facebook business page. If you're publishing there, you can do this for Twitter. You can do this for LinkedIn. You can do this for your Facebook group. The only thing that you cannot do is you cannot really pre-schedule everything for your Facebook personal profile. So There's really that. Now, I really hope this video was helpful. If you feel like it's a lot, then, I definitely invite you to go ahead and apply to work with me as your social media manager. I would love to help you with your overall content to make it look like your brand and attract your ideal audience. And I know it's been a hefty process. I invite you to also check out Airtable in the description box. With that being said, I appreciate you. I hope you go ahead and hit subscribe button. If you enjoyed this kind of content, hit the like button as well, and hit the bell sign to get notified when there is a new video, which is next week. I publish every single week. And before you leave, check out these two videos right here. And there's a whole playlist about Instagram and content marketing. So go check those out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.